I pour you something stronger?
Isn't anyone going to actually leave this party?
Oh, well, we did for a little while.
We've been eavesdropping.
I don't need this.
AJ's got big trouble with this wife of his.
Is he always so observant?
It must have been an awful evening for you, Monica.
It almost looked like Carly wants grandfather to fire him.
If you put Carly up to that stunt...
Of course I didn't. But I can make it better.
Yes, you can. You can leave.
Now listen, what if I made sure that AJ keeps his job? What if I agree to turn down ELQ when grandfather offers it to me, which, of course, you know he will?
Does this involve murdering Carly?
Not necessarily.
No, this plan involves no violence whatsoever.
What? A plan?
I can make it go away.
In return for...
All you have to do is divorce Alan.
You want me to divorce Alan?
That's correct.
So he can marry Gertrude?
Would you like that drink now?
Yes.
Let's face it, Monica. You and Alan have had your moments. I think he's tried to kill you on more than one occasion.
He's not good at it. Well, thank you. Why Gertrude?
Well, they wouldn't have to stay married for very long.
Technically, only for a minute or two.
Yeah, as soon as she says I do, she loses all claim to my company.
And in return, I will stay away from ELQ. Grandfather will just have to suck it up and live with it.
Well, that would be after his heart attack.
You see, you and I have always been on the same wavelength.
Okay, I know this sounds a little far-fetched.
Oh, no, not just far-fetched. It sounds insane.
Let's face it, you and Alan have been long overdue for a breakup.
Well, that's true.
And think about how much fun it would be to get back together again. A little romance. The remarriage of the century. And all the while knowing that Junior has his job set in stone.
Hi. You didn't. How could you possibly imagine me married to Gertrude?
It could work.
Thought you'd be right. You want me to divorce you to marry Gertrude?
Well, now, given the circumstances and a little time to think about it, it could be a solution.
How?
Well, it would give AJ something to hold on to when Carly's gone. And you know that marriage is doomed. That's just a matter of time.
Well, I know after Carly's performance this evening, you're absolutely right. But there's got to be some other way to support AJ without tearing our marriage apart.
Okay, any suggestions?
We'll just continue to support him and defend him against Father and all of his enemies.
Here's the deal, Alan. If you refuse, I'll be forced to go to Grandfather with the happy news that I'm ready to come back to ELQ as CEO. Now, do you really think that a few hugs and kisses from Mom and Dad are going to get AJ through that?
AJ's a lot tougher than you think.
It will shatter him.
Do you honestly believe that? Besides, you're bluffing. You don't want to go back to ELQ. You want to stay with the L&B, don't you? I mean, you just got yourself a new office.
There are a lot of people who can run that company in my absence.
Ned is offering you a chance to save your son's job.
AJ is an outstanding CEO. He is creative and capable, and he's going to take that company to places you couldn't even begin to imagine.
Are you certain that Grandfather and the other board members share that opinion?
Put out a statewide APB and notify the Border Patrol.
Is to ELQ. Now, if he thinks he can make another dollar, he will dump AJ like yesterday's coffee grind.
You have stated time and time again you don't want to come back.
What I want, what I desperately need is for you to court and marry Gertrude. And I will do anything to get it.
Don't rule this out completely. It could be a positive solution for all of us.
Monica, excuse me, fake divorces and marriages are not a positive solution for anything.
Well, maybe you could look at it as a temporary inconvenience. The point is, you marrying Gertrude gives everyone what they want. You get to save AJ's job, you protect him from Edward, and I get to hold on to my company.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't your uncle's will say that you could keep the company if you stayed happily married for a year, and you and Ned are married, so why would you need us?
They are more in love than ever. The problem is Gertrude refuses to believe it.
She has people spying on us day and night. She followed us to Italy on our honeymoon. She harassed us at this spa we were visiting. At this point, we will do anything to get rid of her.
Yes.
Why don't you take out a restraining order?
Alexis seems to think that would be very difficult. Besides, I do have sympathy for my Aunt Gertrude for losing Uncle Herbert.
Chloe and I, we just want to be alone.
So do I.
Look, Alan, I know this is an unusual request.
Unusual? It is absolutely heartless for me to prey on some unsuspecting widow.
Alan, Gertrude is a piranha in expensive pumps. I promise you, if you didn't have money, she wouldn't acknowledge your existence.
What is to prevent me from telling Gertrude exactly what you're doing?
Well, if you do, I'll be forced to visit grandfather and get my old job back. And he will bounce AJ on the spot.
Look, I can see there are benefits to this solution, but I've got to consider what a divorce would do to Emily.
I've thought about that, Monica. I think she's old enough to be trusted. We should just tell her everything.
I think Alan and I need to talk privately.
AJ's your son, and he needs you. I don't think the decision should be that hard.
Working with Father's the last thing he wants to do.
Are you willing to bet AJ's future on that?
Monica, I love my son. I don't need to convince you of that. But I love you too. And I don't want to leave you for another woman.
You've done it before. At least this time it would be for a positive reason.
Are you listening to yourself? You know, it's one thing if a crack appears in a marriage on its own, but to put one there on purpose, you are courting disaster.
Thank you for caring about our marriage, but this time, it isn't about us, it is about AJ.
And AJ's more resilient than you give him credit for.
And I'm glad that you have confidence in him. But right now, he is vulnerable, Alan. His marriage is doomed. His job is the only thing that's holding him up. If he loses that, there's no telling how far he'll fall.